Hey, you know that B-roll you spent so much time filming and you thought would look epic?
Yeah?
Well, it's boring. Hey, let's teach that 7 steps thing.
You mean the 7-step process for taking boring handheld B-roll footage and making it look epic, useful for both beginners and professionals alike? Man, we need to find a shorter name for that.
Ayy, I got the recipe, never gonna let any op get the best of me.
That you finna make it, but they doubt it. But God did it. But you rose like the flower. Tell me what it's like to live with superpowers.
I don't know, but I'ma get it. I'ma get it.
The first step is going to sound very obvious, but I cannot stress this enough. Add some music. There is nothing more boring than a video that has no background music. Even better, we can do something called music syncing. So for this, we're going to go into our background music in PowerDirector and choose a track we like. Then we'll sync up the cuts we make in our clips and match them to the beats of the music. Doing this will weld the visual and auditory elements together and enhance the experience for viewers. Now that we've created our base, we're going to move on to the next steps. Next, we're going to do a bit of color grading. Color grading is a term for adjusting the color palette to create different moods or atmospheres. This is different from color correction, which is adjusting your colors to make them look more like they do in real life. Right, so we're looking for an easy way to do our color grading in PowerDirector. So all we have to do is go into Color LUTs and search for the one that best fits the mood we're going for. If we want something a bit more refined, we can go into the edit window for our video clip and adjust the colors, white balance, and lighting there. When we're done, we will click Apply to All and save us the effort of editing every clip individually. So one of the biggest issues we encounter with handheld B-roll is that it's really hard to have a steady hand while filming, and sometimes we get shaky footage. So to fix this issue, we can go into our video stabilizer, which will help us make our footage a little bit less shaky. This step is a small adjustment, and it's actually really crucial for the next step. Here we're going to slow our footage down by adjusting the speed in the video speed function under our tools tab. You can play around with it and adjust the speed that you think looks good. Slowing down the video will automatically make the footage appear a lot smoother, and since we already went and added that stabilizer, we made the footage as smooth as it possibly could be. So oftentimes when taking handheld B-roll, we end up with footage that looks a bit crooked and a little bit off-center. To remedy this, we can center our object and adjust the horizon so that it looks natural to the eye. We can do this by going into our video editor and clicking into Edit Properties. Here we can fix the position of our footage by either adjusting using the vertex points already on our clip, or we can use the tools on the side. Hey, that was a really good tip. We should tell them that if they want more helpful video editing tips, they should subscribe.
You seem like you want to tell them.
If you want more helpful video editing tips, you should subscribe and watch our other content. Now let's move on to the next step. So here's where we can get a little bit more creative. Depending on what sort of footage you take, the video effects you add could change. This is all up to your own discretion. However, if you aren't sure where to start, one of the easiest things you can do is to add a simple zoom in effect. This is a small change that will make a big difference, and if you're trying to make your footage look more interesting, this will work. You can do this by adding keyframes at the beginning and end of your clip and adjusting the height and width of the last keyframe. Some of the other really easy things you can add here are particle overlays for a more ethereal look, light leaks, or transitions if you're joining multiple B-roll clips together. If you want to add more complicated elements, you can consider something like a speed ramp. Tutorial is here. The last step is sound design. We use sound design to augment or exaggerate reality. If you're filming handheld B-roll outdoors, it's possible that any sounds your camera picks up will not be clear enough to use. So here we can look for sound effects that'll add in a clear version of those background noises. We can also get creative by adding in some sounds that we might not necessarily hear, but would make our footage more interesting and captivate viewers. Sounds like a whoosh for moving hair or a sparkle sound for refracting light. Things you will never actually hear in real life, but make sense on screen. We can explore and add in these sounds right in the sound effects feature in PowerDirector. For a more in-depth tutorial, stay tuned for our next video. Now let's look at the final product.
Ayy, I got the recipe, never gonna let any op get the best of me.
That you finna make it, but they doubt it. But God did it. But you rose like the flower. Tell me what it's like to live with superpowers.
I don't know, but I'ma get it. I'ma get it.
Now that's a satisfying edit. All right, that's a wrap. Let us know in the comments below which tip was the most helpful and come back for more next time. Bye!